This bag right here contains everything we need to make one quilt of valor. And on September 18th, that's exactly what we're going to do. So I started this quilt for my niece while I was at my latest retreat. And I think I'm gonna start working on it today. Well, shoot, if I can find the pattern. Oh, there it is. So it's unicorns. Can you get a good look at that? Yeah, so I started it at retreat, and I have, I'm spoiled. I have 3 machines. I have a retreat machine. I have my Juki that is my workhorse, and then I have my dream machine, and I'm debating on which machine I need to use to make this quilt. Iron is my best friend. The iron is my friend. Starch is my second friend. Fancy. Oh shit, I gotta thread my machine. So I gotta pick thread. When I'm piecing, full disclosure, I just kind of grab thread because, you know, you don't see the thread that you're piecing with. So I'm gonna use what's left of this spool of what was a very large spool from Missouri Star Quilt Company. Highly recommend their thread. It's actually very high quality thread. But I'll use what's left of this to keep working on putting together this unicorn quilt. But let me thread my machine. I'm sure you guys don't want to watch that. Actually, this may provide a laugh for you guys. Well, shoot. Pull the thread out. Anybody know what these little bitty spools are good for? I use them mainly like when I'm putting binding on because it seems to be just enough to do the binding. What about you guys? If there's any viewers out there. Somebody will watch. Somebody will watch it and then come back and go, what is this lady thinking? Ah, what on earth? What am I watching? You know what else you gotta do? You gotta wind bobbins. So let me go ahead and do that. Yeah, I'm just all over the place today. I'm normally not this bad at forgetting things that I need to do, but just kind of discombobulated today. It's Saturday. I don't know if I'm posting this on Saturday, but it's Saturday when I'm filming. Let's see. Do I have any empty bobbins? All right. I'm going to wind a few bobbins and I'll be back. So I have this magnet. It's called a Zircle. If you don't have one of these, get one, because it's like if you drop a lot of pins or stuff, you can just kind of hover over them. I keep my feet on here. I don't know why. But yeah, and then when you take your feet off, they're magnetized. It really doesn't take much to amuse me. I'm putting my 1/4-inch foot on, because I don't know about you guys, but I can't sew a 1/4-inch to save my life. I don't understand what my problem is. I normally lose like a 1/2 inch quarter inch to a half an inch per block when I'm sewing with a pattern. So I don't know what that's about, because I've tried all the tips and tricks. Karen Brown from Just Get It Done Quilts had a really good one where you use masking tape to make a ledge, and I was using my ledge, but apparently on the Juki, the quarter inch line is off, and I don't have one of the sewing gauges to, you know, sit there and make sure. So I need my blocks. Hold on. Let's see if I can get this right. Okay, using 3 unicorn blocks and 4 multicolor Celtic, make a unicorn block row as shown. Repeat to make a total of 2 rows. Let's see if I can do this. And let's see if I can make it a straight line. So, multicolor Celtic. Just love unicorns. I used to collect them when I was a little girl. And then when I had my own little girl, I decided to decorate her room with unicorns and made it all so pretty. And she was 2 years old and decided that ceramic unicorns were not the best thing to decorate a little girl's room with, because she destroyed them. So I had this nice little collection of unicorns that she made sure were no more. All right. trays. One moment, please. I'm going to get a different block. I guess it is 1/4 of an inch. Well, I have a straight line. Now I'm going to my best friend, my iron. You see that over there? That over there. I need this to be closer to this. Oh well. Let's get to work. Oh darn. Today I have my contacts in, which means I can't see up extremely close very well, which really makes this difficult. Okay. Buggers. Come on. Somehow that's so satisfying. Dang. All right, I'm gonna iron this, and then I'm gonna resew it. I just can't seem to get organized today. I don't understand. I'm one of those people that in some situations I'm organized, in other situations I'm like all over the place. I used to be like really organized, like super organized. Like people used to say, if you wanted to go to a clean house, come to my house. I was like Monica from Friends, you know, and I don't know what happened. I had 4 kids, and once baby number 3 comes along, it's like you can't keep up with them. So yeah. I know it'd be quicker if I chain piece these and then put the pieces together that I chain piece. But after I messed up the one, I just kind of want to put it together little by little. So tell me about you guys, you know, whoever's watching. In the comments below, tell me, how long have you been quilting? What's your, what brought you to quilting? Tell me your quilt story. We all have a quilt story like mine. I showed you guys the quilt that I said started it all. Basically, my grandmother started a quilt for, well, I say each of my kids, but she started 3 of the 4 quilts. And then she got to where her eyesight was too bad and she couldn't quilt anymore. So I said, give them to me and I'll learn how to quilt and I'll put them together. And in true, great-granddaughter form, I brought them home and I put them in a closet. And they sat in a closet until after she passed away. And we brought them out, and I started trying to learn how to quilt. Funny thing is, I remembered my grandmother doing these quilting bees when she was younger, or when I was younger, and she would sit there and they would put this big frame in the living room, and they would have sawhorses. I remember them bringing sawhorses in. And so I thought that's how you quilted. So when I first tried to quilt, I went out and bought some 2x4s and some sawhorses and put them in the living room, and I rolled the quilt up onto the 2x4s, and I just took a needle and thread and started trying to sew, and it was horrible. It was so unbelievably horrible that I picked it out myself, and I put those 2x4s up and the sawhorses up, and they stayed in my closet for another couple years, and I started going to different quilt shops and started Googling, people that could, finish the quilt for me, and I could never find anybody to do it. So one day I just started YouTubing and found a couple of YouTube tutorials on how to quilt it, and so I started doing that, and then I found Jenny Doan from Missouri Star Quilt Company, and the rest is history. I've started making quilts, and I've become obsessed with it to the point where, I mean, I put together a YouTube channel, and eventually I hope to own my own quilt shop and help other quilters that were in the same situation it was for me, because when I was going to those quilt shops, I ran into what's known as the quilt police a lot, and I felt judged because I didn't know what I was doing and I was trying to get into it. And I found the quilt shop that I now go to, the one that unfortunately is closing, and they were wonderful. They helped me out, and then I found, you know, one of my best friends, Nora Ann, and started going to her quilt retreats, and I have just learned tremendously from that, and now I love quilting, and I hope that you guys love it too. Now to iron. That's a full 1/4 inch. tripod. What do you guys think? I'm just filming this on my iPhone. I don't know anything about editing. Don't know anything about YouTube yet, but just like when I learned to quilt, I love to learn. Keeps you, learning new things. My daughter's gonna help me edit. You know, the funny thing is, my first degree was in IT, but my first degree I got in the year 2000. And I can say that pretty much everything I learned for that degree is absolute outdated. I learned to create a web page on Netscape Navigator. Do you guys remember Netscape Navigator? That was the program that they used in my classroom for us to create our own web page. And we had to have Navigator as a browser. That was so long ago. All right. Got these strips together, and now I'm gonna gotta iron these open and then sew them onto my unicorns. I might get a unicorn quilt top done this weekend. Woohoo! Machine came unthreaded. Darn it. So, after I bought this machine, I was trying to put the sewing surface on it because it has like a table thing that goes with it. And I didn't realize one of the feet was up, and I completely like shoved it under there. The rubber kind of lost its grip or whatever, and I completely broke. The whole mechanism got bent. Ever since then, my needle threader doesn't work, so I have to manually thread my needles. So that's fun. All right, let's sew this sash on. The machine I'm sewing on is my Juki. It only does a straight stitch, but let me tell you, this thing is a workhorse. I mean, I have more than gotten my money's worth out of this machine. So this is what it looks like so far. I've just got to put the extra border on it. This thing is huge so far. I haven't measured it. It is so hot today. I gotta show you this. So I'm working on a unicorn quilt, right? Look at this. They got unicorn pins. Ah! Unicorn pins for a unicorn quilt. So I'm adding on the last border for my unicorn quilt. And I just noticed, look at that. I am playing roulette with the end of a thread spool. Will I make it? Only one way to find out. Yeah. And the borders are on. Look how big this thing is. I hope my niece loves it. And I hope you love it too. Have a good day. Oh, I'm having a very productive day today. I finished the quilt top for my niece, the unicorn quilt top. Now I'm working on putting the binding on a quilt that I have been working on for 7 years. This is the one that in my introductory video I sat there and said that it's one of the 2 that I hand quilted. Notice I'm putting the binding on via machine because I'm over hand quilting. I sounded kind of negative there. I didn't mean to sound negative. I love hand quilting. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And anybody out there, I have so much respect for you if you actually do the hand quilting and everything. I can't get the rocking motion to go right, and it frustrates me more than it causes me. You know, to me, quilting should relax you, and it actually does not when I'm hand quilting because I can't get the motion to go right. And I still have a quilt over here that I still have to finish hand quilting for my daughter. My niece is over here in the background making fun of me and recording my videos because she says I suck at YouTube. Guess what? I probably do. That's okay. So for you YouTubers out there that have been doing this for a while, if any of you have bothered to, oh wow, look at my hair. Did I mention I have ADHD? Or my daughter says it's ADD now. It's not ADHD. How long did it take before you got good at doing your videos and editing and stuff like that? How many hours of material do you record to go through before you post something? Or I guess some of you just post it anyway. Let me know. This is only the second quilt that I've done hand quilting on, and I still haven't finished the first one. And I have this fear that I'm gonna give it to my daughter and that the first time we wash it, that it's just gonna fall apart. And I have been working on this for 7 years. So I'm hoping, but I'm not hopeful. After 7 long years, it's finally done. I have finally finished this quilt. My butterflies quilt, only the second quilt that I have hand stitched, is done. The first quilt I hand stitched, still working on it. That one's 12 years in.